Hello everyone and welcome to Wednesday's Talking Reds. My name is Mo Stewart and I've got Mr. Craig Hannan alongside me. You alright, Craig?
Yeah, that's nice, isn't it?
Yeah. We were just talking, you normally only do one of these a week, but we've got you for a second stint and I cannot be happier.
I know, it's I didn't realise I was on the video today and I'm wearing the same thing I wore in the last video, which is like deeply worrying to me. So I'm going to put it out there now before anyone trolls me in the comments.
Yeah, it's not like we've had him in there all day just doing videos. This is another day he just wore the same. It's a nice top, what can you say? Now we should probably stop whittering on about clothes because we've got loads of stuff to get through today. Obviously it's a match day, so we're going to be talking about that. But we've got our brand new exclusive interview with James Milner, which we're going to be giving you a snippet from and we're going to be talking about later. But first, let's talk about that game. We're playing in the Carabao Cup, fourth round against Arsenal tonight at Anfield, and there's been a lot of talk that it's going to be a more youthful side. There's talk of all of the big guys getting the rest. We're in a very intense period right now. And Neil Jones of Goal has pretty much confirmed that in an article he put out just minutes ago, in which he mentioned that Neco Williams, the young Welsh right back, is going to be playing at right back because Kiana Hervert is away on international duty. So he's going to be getting his debut, Craig. It's another new name coming in, and based on what we've seen so far from the new names, it's potentially another exciting guy to have a look at tonight.
Yeah, I think tonight's game has a little bit of everything to get you excited. Really, it's got an unknown quantity in Neco Williams at fullback. You get to see some of the young players that got us so excited in the previous round, the likes of Harvey Elliott, mainly Harvey Elliott, but also Brewster, who looked really bright in pre-season and who has a big future ahead of him. You've got someone like Oxlade-Chamberlain, who we've seen loads off in the past, but not much recently, and then gets the 2 goals. And there's a bit of a clamour to see him at the weekend. We don't even see him at all at the weekend, which just goes to show the strength and depth in the squad. Someone like Kelleher as well in nets, who was brilliant in the last round and sort of has come out of nowhere really. I mean, Adrian will feel a little bit aggrieved not to play in this game, but I'm fine with that decision. I really like the look of Kelleher, and this is another step for him. And at the MK Dons game as well, I'm not sure if he said this on Talking Reds yet, but John and I were actually sat like right behind his family. You could tell because they all looked dead Irish and had Kelleher on the back, and just watching their excitement, their nerves, them reacting and sort of wincing at everything. It was like this like pressure lifted off them at the end where they were able to celebrate their son's performance, and that sort of it reminded me of how big these games are to these young players, really, and how much of an opportunity. Like, some of them might never play for Liverpool again. I don't think that's the case because there's so many of them look really bright. But for someone like Kelleher, he's thrown in, he gets an opportunity, he comes through it unscathed and performing really well, and he gets his reward in this round. So, and there's a 7:30 kickoff. We've been letting everyone know. 7:30 kickoff.
It's a bit mad. There's no denying it's a bit mad. It's only about 15 to half an hour earlier than normal, but it just throws everything out of whack in terms of your pre-match preparation. But I want to talk about another guy who's making his debut, Sepp Vandenberg, who looks like he's going to be playing alongside Joe Gomez in the centre of defence. Now, this is an interesting pairing because obviously Gomez, he's kind of gone through it a little bit recently. I mean, that's in relative terms, obviously, but it seems like he's gone from number 2 to number 4 over the course of this season. So he's going to really want to go out and impress. And he's going to be playing alongside a lad who's we've talked a lot about, but we've never actually properly seen him in a big game.
Yeah, and you think of the way football works, and that at one stage Gomez is the shining light of English football. He's the most exciting centre back in for England's future, for Liverpool's future. And then he gets injured and it's Joel Matip, and Joel Matip has an incredible year where he's on a par. He's at the same level as Van Dijk basically, for almost a year now. You've got someone like Lovren who's then getting starts in front of Gomez, and now Gomez is having to prove himself again in this I forgot what it's called. I was going to call it the Carling Cup, the Carabao Cup. I'm not worried about him. I'd like him to use I'd like us all to be going away from the game tonight going, Gomez was brilliant there, look how solid he was. And I think Arsenal are going to play a stronger team than you might expect, just because of how dull it looks at the moment for Emery. I think he'll throw in a few youngsters, but I don't think he'll take too many big risks. I think he'll want to compete, and so it's a good chance for Gomez to show what he's all about again, and sort of force his way in, because we know that Matip's going to be out for 6 weeks, I think it is. So it's a huge opportunity for him and for Van den Berg as well. We saw little glimpses of him in the summer when he came on at the end in the American games, and we were lucky enough to watch him for a little bit during the pre-season training. And I thought, like, during the early ones, he looked not nervous. He just looked. He's shy. He's got a presence about him. He's huge, but he's shy, and he's probably just finding his way into playing against Mo Salah and players like that in training. But it's a huge opportunity for him tonight, and at Anfield he'd be immensely excited for it, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be a really great game for him, and hopefully for all of us. And some people were saying they weren't necessarily sure how they feel about this competition and all of those things, but I think the fact that as soon as we got Arsenal, a big game at home, it was one of those where we have to win. And obviously Everton got through last night, so we absolutely have to go through as well. We can't go out before them, regardless of what happens in the rest of the competition. We spoke a little bit on the preview show. If you listened to that yesterday, it was out on the audio, talking about Arsenal and their general malaise. But what are you expecting from them? I mean, it's been a bit of a circus recently, hasn't it?
It has. I don't know whether to expect Saka anyway. Amy Lawrence is really good on one of her shows. I can't remember which one it is. I think it's her free podcast from Monday. It's near the end. Amy Lawrence from The Athletic, and she speaks about Saka, and it's dead interesting. It's just a mad moment for them, I think, where they seem to be right round back to where they were at the end of Wenger, whereas like fans pitting against each other feels a bit Hodgson, feels a bit end of Benitez sort of era, but worse for them really. I think you'll see the likes of Martinelli. I think one thing is, I wouldn't be surprised to see them perform well tonight, because you think about how this team probably plays quite a bit in the Europa League for Arsenal. They do. So this will be a team that are used on Thursday nights, Wednesday nights, whatever, playing together in these cup competitions. And for us, we're sort of throwing together some youngsters, someone's making his debut. There's a couple making their debuts at Anfield, a couple of seasoned stars, but it's almost a team that aren't used to playing together. And so Arsenal might surprise a few people, but I fully expect us to win.
Yeah. I think that's how I feel as well. It's going to be something to watch, but it should end with a Liverpool victory. Now, some of those more experienced players who we're expecting to see tonight, one of them in particular has been very busy around these parts, Mr. James Milner. I mentioned before that we had a chance to do two things with him. We did a video and an audio to promote the new book that he's got coming out. So we're going to give you a little clip of that right now.
On that point, I think one of the things that's fascinating now, and I think this happens across life, we love to talk about stuff like this, like everyone gets stuck in a psychology. So the age you are as a footballer now, it's like mentally we're all going, well, you'll be winding down soon, you'll be coming to retirement. But do you feel, because of the nutrition changes and because of all of that, and like you look as fit as you've ever been, maybe fitter, do you start looking at how long can I stay at this level for? Because I was thinking before that maybe in my lifetime, Ryan Giggs was the first sort of elite level player who just kept going and could still perform at that level.
Sheringham kept going, didn't he? But he never had no pace anyway.
Well, it's a slightly different thing, I suppose, isn't it? A different position. Do you look at it now and have you started thinking, like, what's the longest you could do this at somewhere like Liverpool? So could you go to 38, 39, 40?
I haven't put a number on it. I think it was a new experience for me when people started talking about my age a lot, and the lads joking and stuff, that's fine, but every interview you do, 33, blah, blah, blah. That's great for me. I think at that point it was a new thing for me mentally to get over, because then you start thinking, well, am I going to start feeling it soon? In terms of how I feel great. And someone 5-6 years ago said to me, one of the sports scientists was like, every single day in training you cover more ground than anyone else, and comfortably you're going to have to start reining that in. And I disagreed with that, and I took the thought that if I'm at this level physically, I'm going to drop off. I'm not saying I'm never going to drop off, but if I'm dropping off to a level where everyone else is, as opposed to there, and that's my opinion. And people writing you off and saying you're 33 and comments like that is perfect for me, because, like you say, I like to prove people wrong and push it, and I feel fantastic. I feel the same as I have, and we do sessions someday which are pretty tricky and tough, and I'm asking the young boys, is it tough? And they're like, yeah, and I'm like, yes. Today's not the day. So Yeah, I that was my thinking of it. The fitter I am, the more I push myself. I do as much in the gym as I ever have, if not more, on the leg side. I feel like the higher level I'm at, if that drop-off does come at some point, which I'm sure it will, or I can't quite cover as much ground, hopefully I'm back in with a pack as opposed to being below them.
It's great stuff, isn't it? I always think the Pro View is probably one of my favourite shows, but this one's a little bit special, Craig. How cool was it to be able to hear from the man himself, where he talks about not only the things that we all want to know about, he talks about Rybeen and stuff, but he talks about the inside the dressing room stuff, he talks about his penalties technique and his approach to basically being told that he's too old to play for Liverpool week in, week out in every single interview he ever does, which I thought was really good.
Yeah, that was my favourite part, where he said it just drives him on. You'll have seen the clip there. He says, you know, constantly throughout his career, as it's got towards the end, people have said to him, you know, you're 29 now, you're 30 now, you need to be thinking you're 31, you're 32. He's now 33 and he's still winning all the tests in pre-season. And he says that those words drive him on. I think the thing that makes me laugh about James Milner is there's a perception of him because of a parody Twitter account, and actually he's anything but that.
No.
Like, there's jokes in there, he's dead funny, but like really interesting to listen to, and you know, especially on Linders, on what Klopp's like at half time, and about him speaking back to Klopp and there being this relationship where he's able to do that, but sometimes Klopp will tear the head off them, and just it was a brilliant little interview, and it's definitely worth sort of listening to because it's different, because there's a different angle to it. It's not just wasn't Barcelona great? Yeah, they talk about the Barcelona game, they talk about winding up Messi, but it's more of what it's like in the background as a professional in those games.
And one of the things I took from it as well is the drive that he still has, and that you can tell he shares with everyone else in the squad. I mean, thinking back to this Carabao Cup game, I was saying earlier, we don't really necessarily see it as a thing. For them, it's another thing to win. He was so keen to say that as great as winning the Champions League was, he doesn't want there to be a one trophy team. He wants us to keep winning, and whatever form that is, keep putting trophies on the side of the mantle. And I think they're going to be going into this game really, really trying to attack it.
It's an opportunity. It's a huge opportunity, and you know, it's the quarterfinals next round, isn't it?
Yep.
And there's been quite a few teams knocked out already that, you know, you may have been within a chance of winning it, and I think that get through the next round, you know, you could get a Colchester, you could get an Oxford, you could get someone like that who have sort of made their way through to the quarterfinals. You know, you could get an Everton or a Man City, but that's exciting as well. Bring it on. Like, I'll have anyone at this stage. But I think as you get to the quarterfinal, I think quarterfinal's the first bit where you go, oh, what, 3 games away?
Yeah,
you know, and
it's serious now.
And you know, it becomes a bit of a congested January is my only sort of thing with it. But if it means ultimately winning another trophy, then that's what Liverpool exists to do.
Now, I know that we have already talked about James Milner's age, but one other thing off the back of that I really wanted to talk about is the idea that Paul Cope mentioned of him doing what Ryan Giggs did and basically staying at the top level till he's 40 years old. Because when people have spoken over the course of the summer about, we want him to sign a new contract, most people have been expecting it to be a 1 to 2 year deal. I mean, if he goes in there and says, I want another 3 years, I mean, I think we should personally give it to him.
Yeah, look, he's still playing at a level that makes him important to this Liverpool squad, and you know, you can throw him in a game like Leicester and he'll put in the performance that he did. He'll stand up, and that's one of the things he talks about is it's you know, having to wait for a penalty. You're about to hit a penalty, and VAR is checking, and he's having to stand, and there's players kicking the penalty spot and walking across him, and Casper Michael's shouting at him. You've got the opposition fans just there, and they're giving him shit, and he's having to deal with that, and it's sort of new to him. But cool as ice, you know, gets us to 3 points, and you know, he's what a signing he's been. He might be the best free signing that we've ever. I think, you know, there's a bit of a debate with Gary McAllister on that one, but I think by the end of Milner's Liverpool career and what he'll have hopefully achieved by that stage, I think it'll be James Milner that's.
I think so too. And one of the big things in Gary McAllister's column at the moment is the influence he had on bringing through Steven Gerrard.
Yep.
And there's a whole host of young players in this Liverpool team who, if they stick close to Milner, that they're going to have the influence of such a great professional to hopefully drive them on to great things. So he might have a whole. He might be the father of this team when we're looking back on it in 10 years' time. Might have like 6 or 7 little Milner kids running around.
He won't like that. He doesn't like the age stuff. Just one thing I will mention is I mentioned the open training in America in the summer, and there was an interesting part. We talked about Milner as being a cultural architect before, and about him being someone that one of the senior players that Klopp will speak to, but also use to implement his values and ensure that everyone's keeping in line with those values and rules. And there was an interesting thing with Bobby Duncan where he basically gets stuck right into Bobby Duncan with the tackle, and because Duncan was getting shouted at by Klopp and by Pep Linders throughout the training session. I think Dom King's maybe written an article about it, but I remember at the time thinking, and Duncan wasn't walking great after it, and it was one of those things where it was like, I was wondering, was that on purpose? Like he didn't go in to hurt him. It was a hard tackle, but it was almost like a reminder that if you're going to play with the big boys and you're going to act like a big boy, then you need to do what the big boys are doing. And I just thought that was sort of a microcosm of probably what Milner's all about, in terms of being the vice captain, in terms of being someone that ensures that everyone stays in line. I think that's hugely important.
That is massively important. It's a very good story to lead into what's going to be today's question. We've been taking questions from the YouTube comments, ignoring all of the terrible ones, and just ignoring most of the stuff. But with the question about James Milner that's come in today from James Hayden, where he asks about Milner's potential to be a coach at Liverpool in the future. I mean, based off that story, it sounds like he already is, but it's one of those things that you'd hope as soon as he does hang up his boots that we're right in there with the contract under his nose. Yeah,
especially at a time like this, especially in an era where or the beginning of an era where you hope that now Liverpool are going to go on to win the Premier League. They're going to go on to win, a cup competition as well this season. Maybe challenging the Champions League again. To have players who have been part of that and then just continue the journey with this club, I think that's no bad thing, and sort of keeping them within the club. And that's someone that obviously Jurgen Klopp trusts and his staff trust. And if Milner did decide after, even beyond when Klopp's here, if he decided that he wanted to stick around Liverpool, then that would be brilliant. So yeah, I'm all for that, and I think that having those people around and keeping them around really is important.
Mm-hmm, definitely. So loads of Milner stuff, as we said, coming out over the course of the last few days. I believe the audio is out now. The video may be coming in a couple of days, so keep an eye out for that. Craig, I believe you have some more admin that you would like to tell the people.
I do. We've got some t-shirts in the Tall Shop. So we've got a new Sadio Mane one. Hopefully you can see that there. I've brought the t-shirts this time because every time I do this, Sam puts something on my head or puts something mad on my on my hands. Happen, so I'm actually doing the admin here, and that's a Mo, Sadio and Bobby one. I think they're both 18 quid on the Tall Shop. We can ship anywhere. It's theanfieldwrap.com. No, it's shop.theanfieldwrap.com. And then another thing, we've got a Liverpool gin competitions running. You might have seen the video yesterday of us making the gin. Mine got. Yeah, have you seen this?
I have seen the video, yeah.
Yeah, it was. I was so confident. My gin smelled so nice, and then he said it was suspicious at the end.
I've heard your cooking stories, so I was not surprised at all.
So we're running the competition with Liverpool Gin, where you can come and enjoy a gin experience with the Anfield Wrap. We'll have a few gins, a few drinks afterwards, I'm sure as well. But we'll create our own gin. You'll get to take your own one home, call it, label it, whatever you want. To enter that competition, all you need to do is answer the question. It's dead easy. Who scored the penalty in the game against Spurs? Fill in your details, and we'll give you a call next Wednesday and announce it on next Wednesday's Talking Reds. If you want to watch the video, it was on yesterday's Talking Reds, halfway through, I think, and the link to enter will be in the description under this video. So yeah, get involved. I think that's all my admin. I've got. Yeah, that's all my admin. So, get on James Milner.
It's a fair bit. You've got gin, you've got t-shirts, you've got Milner. We've got a match tonight. What more do you want? See it all, hear it all, experience it all with us here at the Anfield Wrap. We'll see you again tomorrow.